Hey, what's up, guys? This is Carlos video blog, and as you can tell, this is what looks like a screencast, but I'm gonna sell it as a video blog because all of the stuff I need to show you guys is on my computer. So instead of holding up a bunch of pictures and stuff up to my computer, I'll just show it to you guys on my screen. So this is my week 5 summary, and week 5 was when we started working with the Arduino kits a lot more. So far I've liked working with Arduino kits. They're interesting. They look pretty cool. I'm pretty sure if I show this to someone, they're gonna be like, "Oh wow, what are you doing in class? That looks tight." And I'm gonna say, "Yeah, it is." So let's start with Monday. Monday we built circuits with LEDs and switches in both series and parallel. So very basic. At first I couldn't get the parallel circuit to work, and only one of the buttons would work at a time and not the other. And this is the video of that happening. So I don't really know what it was. I started changing my setup of my cables because I know this is simpler, but it doesn't suit me as well. So the way I would do it is to send the power to a point over here where I would then connect two cables, one to this button, one to this one, and then the opposite legs would be connected to, like, let's say number 8 right below the other ones, and that would be my where my parallel circuit closes, and then I'd get another wire and pull it over to the LED and then back to the ground. And I did do it in class later on, and it did end up working. We also started coding with Arduino, and it's very meticulous. That's all I can say. Wednesday we redid the spaceship for the Arduino, and this is where I learned how meticulous the coding would be. I thought it'd be super easy, but I kept getting an error, and I rewrote a lot of it. I finally figured out that I misspelled the word switch. I forgot the C, and that was the only problem in my whole code, and it was like at the very beginning. Besides that, it was all relatively easy. I was able to move on to the lavometer, however you want to say it, and this one took a little longer because the code was longer and a little more complex. And I looked later on into the book, and they do start getting more and more complex, but I'm ready for the challenge. I can't remember what we did Friday. I'm pretty sure we just worked on the Arduino more. I don't have any notes on that, but that's too bad. This week we had our teaching, testing, learning discussion, which was pretty interesting. It's cool. The only problem I have with it, like the no testing stuff, is that I feel like the student gets very disconnected from their grade. We want to see our grade to see if we're doing well enough. So even though all of us are pursuing an A, and all of us think, or at least most of us probably think, we're doing enough work to receive an A based on the way other classes have been set up, where we can skip a couple assignments or do poorly on one thing, but we have no idea how we're doing in your class. Like, you told me in the interview that I look disinterested in things. That has to go on with the engage me or enrage me discussion, because lately I feel like I'm a little more ahead than my friends in the Arduino part and the circuit building part. They would ask me for help instead of me asking them for help, and I can build them from schematics now with very few errors or close to no errors. And then once I see what I did wrong, I can I engrave it in my mind so that I can do it correctly later on. Our neat resource was video games and learning. Since everything got deleted mysteriously, the alien abduction stuff, I can't remember what other people posted into it, but I know I posted about how the army uses um, some video game stuff to to train their to train for simulations of certain stuff. Here it is. And I thought it was pretty interesting because new it was basically saying that the younger generation learns differently than the older generation, and the older generation technologies, the Cold War stuff is to us it's kind of outdated, but it's still being used. So this is something else. But they could teach them how to arm missiles and shoot missiles and all that good stuff without wasting the money associated with actually shooting a missile, because that would be very costly. This this week was interesting. It was the first week working with Arduinos. We've taken what you taught us about circuits, and now we're actually putting it to good use. I'll be honest. At first, I just built what I saw in the picture, and I just typed down the code. But now I've started reading the coding and the book and parts about the circuitry, and it makes a lot more sense. How you have to create variables and make these variables do things, and you have to make the Arduino recognize certain pieces in certain positions. And we've done a lot more with them. Today we were doing the piezo, whatever, making sounds and everything, and that was neat. Um, what have I learned? Well, I'm gonna take what I learned about the Arduino, and I'm gonna connect it with what I learned last week. Since the last 2 weeks we'd been learning how to build circuits and in series and parallel, and how to draw schematics and how to interpret them. I put that to good use into this week's lectures, with finally building from scratch. Also, I also learned what a glog was. That was weird. It's like a online poster. I don't know exactly how it works. It was very hard to find things about the glogs, and it wasn't very informative, as much as blogs and vlogs. And I probably spent maybe around 6 to 7 hours this week with this stuff. And I had some other couple pictures I would have showed you. Oh, here they are. They weren't loading, but this one is of me working on the kits that someone took, and they put a caption on it. And let's see if it opens. Nope. And then these are just of the Arduinos after we built them. And this is one of the coding, as you can see. I wish I could zoom in for you, but my internet's acting a little slow, so that's where I'm gonna have to leave it. And yeah, that basically sums up this week's um, events. It was all pretty fun, and I look forward to learning more and doing more as we go on. Bye.